Hey everyone, ready for a deep dive into something pretty mind-blowing?
I think we've got something exciting lined up.
We're talking artificial superintelligence today.
ASI.
Exactly.
Not just, the AI we're seeing everywhere now in our phones and computers.
Right, like way beyond that.
But something potentially way beyond.
Yeah, and our jumping off point is this recent article from Geeky Gadgets.
Okay.
About Sam Altman's predictions.
Right.
And he's the CEO of OpenAI.
Right.
And he's put a timeline on ASI emerging.
Oh, wow.
Within the next 9 years.
Okay.
That's 3,500 days, just under a decade.
Yeah, that's, that puts things into perspective.
Kind of makes you think, doesn't it?
It really does. And while it's a bold prediction,
yeah,
it does reflect the incredible speed at which AI has been developing.
Absolutely.
I mean, some experts even suggest we could see superhuman AI by as early as 2027.
Wow.
So this is a time of incredible potential and unavoidable uncertainty.
So, okay, let's talk about that potential. The article highlights how ASI could really change the game in areas like drug discovery,
right,
climate modeling, even material science.
Yeah, it's almost like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It is.
You know, ASI could process these immense amounts of data,
right,
spotting patterns and connections that would take human researchers years, if not decades, to find.
It's wild.
I mean, this could revolutionize drug discovery, leading to personalized treatments and cures for diseases that currently seem impossible to tackle.
Yeah, and when it comes to climate change, ASI could help us build much more precise and accurate climate models.
Absolutely.
With that kind of data, we could understand our planet systems in a whole new way and come up with effective solutions to the climate crisis.
And in material science. Imagine ASI designing materials with entirely new properties unlike anything we've ever seen before.
Oh, wow.
This could revolutionize everything from how we build our homes and cities to how we develop electronics and transportation systems.
Yeah, it's really incredible.
The possibilities are truly vast.
Yeah, but I have to admit, I'm also feeling a little apprehensive. I mean, this kind of power could also have some downsides, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right to raise that point.
Okay, good.
I think one of the biggest concerns with ASI is this challenge of predictability. We're talking about creating systems with powerful reasoning capabilities.
Yeah.
But with that comes the potential for unpredictable, even harmful consequences.
Yeah. It reminds me of what AI researcher Gary Marcus has been saying.
Yeah.
He's skeptical about whether ASI can really achieve those milestones as quickly as Altman predicts. And even if it can, how do we make sure it stays aligned with human values?
Yeah. That's the core of the so-called alignment problem.
Right.
And it's one of the most difficult challenges researchers are grappling with.
I bet.
We need to figure out how to ensure ASI understands and aligns with human values and goals. And that's not a simple task.
And let's not forget about the potential societal impacts. ASI could significantly disrupt our existing systems and structures.
Right. We have to consider things like potential job displacement
Yeah.
as AI takes over tasks currently done by humans, and how to ensure fair and equitable access to the benefits of ASI.
Absolutely.
We don't want to create a world where only a select few benefit from this technology.
So we've got these potential benefits that are mind-blowing, but also some serious risks.
Yeah.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, though. We need to talk about the technical hurdles.
Oh, okay.
I mean, how do you actually go about building something as complex as ASI?
Well, it's a bit like climbing Mount Everest.
Okay.
There are multiple stages and huge challenges along the way. First, we need to figure out how to scale up existing AI models so they can handle unimaginable amounts of data.
Wow.
That means overcoming current limitations in computing power and finding new ways to process information efficiently.
And I guess we have to worry about AI becoming an energy hog, right?
Exactly.
We don't want to solve one problem just to create another one.
Optimization of computational resources is crucial.
Right.
We need AI that's powerful but also sustainable.
Yeah.
Then there's the challenge of achieving genuine autonomy, where AI can act independently but safely and responsibly.
So we need smarter AI, but we also need it to be well-behaved AI.
That's right.
That's a lot to ask.
It is.
And then there's this whole other layer of self-awareness.
Oh, yeah.
Could machines actually become conscious?
It's a topic that's both fascinating and unsettling.
The article barely touches on that, but it's a pretty wild thought.
It raises all sorts of philosophical and ethical questions that we're only beginning to explore.
Well, before we let our minds wander too far into the future, let's step back and consider what a world transformed by ASI might actually look like.
Okay.
We're talking massive economic and societal shifts.
Imagine entire industries being reshaped as ASI optimizes processes and automates tasks.
It's hard to even imagine.
We could see new jobs emerging that we can't even imagine yet, while others disappear entirely. How will people adapt to these changes?
Yeah. How will we retrain and reskill our workforce?
These are crucial questions we need to be thinking about now.
It's both exciting and a little daunting, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then there are the economic implications.
Oh, yeah.
How will value be created and distributed in an ASI-driven world?
Mm-hmm.
Will traditional economic models still apply?
Good question.
We'll need to rethink a lot of our assumptions about work wealth and even the meaning of human purpose.
Wow.
In a world where machines can potentially outperform us in almost every domain.
So much to consider.
It is.
It's clear that ASI has the potential to be truly revolutionary.
Yeah.
But it also comes with a whole set of challenges and risks that we can't afford to ignore.
You've summed it up perfectly. This isn't just a technological advancement.
Right.
It's a potential turning point in human history.
All right, before we dive deeper into some specific examples of ASI in action, let's pause here for a moment.
Okay.
What are your initial thoughts? What stands out to you most about the potential of ASI? What are you most curious or even concerned about?
Yeah.
Take a moment to ponder these questions before we continue our exploration.
Sounds good.
See you in part 2.
All right. PM. See you around. Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of artificial superintelligence.
It's great to be back. You know, when we left off, I was thinking about all the potential impacts of ASI on different industries.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild to imagine how things could change.
It really is. And the article does mention some specific examples.
Okay.
One area where ASI could have a profound impact is healthcare.
Yeah, healthcare.
Imagine a world where ASI can analyze medical images with superhuman accuracy, detecting diseases at their earliest stages.
That would be incredible.
This would be a game changer for early diagnosis and treatment.
It would completely change the way we think about healthcare. Instead of waiting for symptoms to appear, we could potentially identify and address health issues before they even become problems.
Exactly. And think about personalized medicine.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
ASI could analyze your genetic data, lifestyle, and medical history to create a tailored treatment plan just for you, optimizing your health throughout your life.
It's like having a super intelligent doctor working behind the scenes, constantly monitoring and adjusting your healthcare plan based on your unique needs.
That's a great way to put it. And it's not just healthcare.
Yeah.
ASI could revolutionize education too.
Oh, really?
Imagine personalized learning platforms that adapt to each student's needs, providing customized lessons and feedback.
So instead of the one-size-fits-all approach we often see in classrooms today, each student would have a learning experience tailored to their strengths and weaknesses, their pace, and their learning style. It's really personalized learning taken to the next level.
Right. ASI could identify learning gaps, recommend resources, and even adjust the pace of instruction to ensure every student is engaged and challenged.
That would be incredible, especially for students who struggle in traditional classroom settings.
Yeah.
It could open up so many opportunities for people who learn differently.
Absolutely. And let's not forget about the creative industries.
Oh, the arts.
ASI could partner with artists, writers, and musicians, helping them push the boundaries of their craft in ways we can't even imagine yet.
It's interesting to think about AI as a creative collaborator.
Yeah.
I wonder if some artists might feel threatened by that, though.
That's a valid point. It's natural to feel some apprehension when we think about technology encroaching on areas that we consider uniquely human-like creativity.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to remember that ASI is a tool.
Right.
It's up to us as humans to guide its use and ensure it enhances our creativity, not replaces it.
I think that makes a lot of sense. We need to be thoughtful about how we integrate ASI into our lives and work and make sure we're using it in a way that benefits humanity as a whole.
Exactly. And as we navigate these uncharted waters, it's important to keep in mind the potential long-term implications of ASI.
So what are some of the things we need to be watching out for as this technology continues to develop?
Well, one area of concern is the potential for misuse.
Yeah, like what?
ASI could be used to develop autonomous weapons systems, for example, which raises serious ethical questions about accountability and the potential for unintended consequences.
That's definitely a scary thought.
Yeah.
We've seen how quickly technology can be weaponized, and with ASI, the stakes are even higher.
Another concern is the potential for concentration of power.
Okay.
If ASI development is controlled by a small number of corporations or governments, it could exacerbate existing inequalities and lead to a world where the benefits of this technology are not evenly distributed.
That's a really crucial point.
Yeah.
we need to ensure that ASI development is guided by ethical principles and that the benefits are accessible to all of humanity, not just a privileged few.
Exactly. We need to start thinking about these issues now before ASI becomes so advanced that it's too late to course correct.
So we've talked about some of the potential pitfalls.
Yeah.
But let's shift gears for a moment and talk about the actual development of ASI.
Okay.
What are the key milestones we need to reach to make this a reality?
One of the most important milestones on the path to ASI is achieving artificial general intelligence, or AGI.
AGI.
This is the point where AI systems can perform any intellectual task that a human being can.
So AGI is like the stepping stone to ASI. It's where AI becomes truly as intelligent as humans.
That's a good way to think about it. Once we achieve AGI, we can start working towards ASI, which is essentially AGI that surpasses human intelligence in virtually every domain.
Wow, so that's pretty tall order.
Yeah.
How close are we to achieving AGI, do you think?
It's hard to say for sure. Some experts believe we're just a few years away, while others think it could be decades. It depends on how you define AGI and the specific capabilities you're looking for.
It's a bit like trying to predict the weather. There are so many variables and unknowns that it's impossible to say for sure what will happen or when.
Exactly. But one thing is certain, the journey towards ASI will be filled with challenges and breakthroughs, and it will undoubtedly change the world as we know it.
I think we can all agree on that. It's an exciting time to be alive, wouldn't you say? Even with all the uncertainties and potential risks.
And it's a time for thoughtful discussion, careful planning, and a commitment to using ASI for the betterment of humanity.
Well said. Yeah. Before we move on to part 3, where we'll delve into some potential future scenarios, let's pause here for a moment.
Okay.
If ASI does become a reality in the next decade, what do you think will be the biggest impact on your life? Will it be positive or negative? How will it change your work, your relationships, your sense of self? Take a moment to reflect on these questions, and we'll continue our exploration in part 3. Welcome back. It feels like we've already gone through a whole college course on ASI.
I know, right?
But we're just getting to the really fun part.
That's right. We've covered the potential, the risks, the real-world possibilities.
Yeah.
Now it's time to let our imaginations run wild a bit.
Exactly. The article doesn't really delve into this, but
Yeah.
I'm curious, what are some of the big picture scenarios
Okay.
we could be looking at if ASI does emerge in the next decade?
Well, on one end of the spectrum, you have the utopian vision. ASI solves humanity's biggest problems: poverty, hunger disease, climate change.
Right.
It's a world of abundance and well-being.
So break that down for me. What does an ASI-powered utopia actually look like?
Okay, imagine personalized healthcare plans that predict and prevent illness before it even starts.
Okay.
Imagine clean energy solutions so efficient that we essentially have limitless power.
Wow.
Imagine a world where resources are distributed fairly and sustainably so everyone has what they need to thrive.
It's hard to even wrap my mind around that, all the problems we've been struggling with for centuries just vanish.
Not necessarily vanish overnight, but the potential for ASI to dramatically accelerate progress in those areas is certainly there.
Okay.
Of course, there's always the flip side.
Oh, yeah, the dystopian scenario.
Right.
The robots take over, humans become obsolete, that kind of thing.
Not necessarily robots in the traditional sense, but more like AI systems that become so intelligent and complex
Right.
that they surpass our ability to understand or control them.
So it's not a Terminator situation,
Right.
but maybe more like AI making decisions that seem logical to it, but have consequences we didn't anticipate.
Exactly. Imagine AI systems controlling critical infrastructure, managing global finance, even making decisions about resource allocation.
Right.
If those systems aren't perfectly aligned with human values, the outcomes could be catastrophic.
That is kind of chilling. Seems like we're in a race against time. We have to figure out how to, quote unquote, control ASI before it surpasses us.
Some people see it that way,
Right.
but others argue that control is the wrong framework entirely.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe instead of trying to control ASI, we need to figure out how to collaborate with it.
Collaborate? How do you collaborate with something that might be smarter than you in every way?
It's a huge challenge,
Yeah.
but it might be the only viable path.
Okay.
It would require a fundamental shift in our thinking.
I'll just...
Instead of seeing ASI as a tool to be used or a threat to be contained, we'd need to view it as a partner.
So instead of programming ASI with our values, we need to have some kind of ongoing dialogue with it to learn from it as much as we teach it.
Exactly. It would require a level of humility and open-mindedness that we as humans aren't always great at.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so we've got utopia, dystopia, and this really complex idea of collaboration.
Right.
But isn't there also a chance that all of this is just hype and ASI simply doesn't happen?
That's certainly a possibility. The article touches on some of the technical hurdles, which are immense.
Yeah, they are.
It's entirely possible that we hit a roadblock we can't overcome, or that the progress we've seen so far simply plateaus.
So the future of ASI is still very much a question mark.
Yeah.
We could see incredible progress. We could see unintended consequences, or we could see it fizzle out altogether.
That's why these conversations are so important.
I agree.
We need to be thinking about all the possibilities, exploring different scenarios, and having open and honest discussions about the potential benefits and risks of ASI.
Listening to all this, I'm struck by how much uncertainty there is, but it's also kind of exciting, isn't it?
Absolutely.
We're literally on the cusp of something that could change everything.
Absolutely, and it's up to all of us to shape that future. We can't just sit back and wait to see what happens.
Right.
We need to be actively engaged in shaping the development and deployment of ASI in a way that benefits all of humanity.
So to everyone listening, here's a final thought. We've explored a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
We've talked about the incredible potential of ASI, the very real risks, and the mind-boggling scenarios it could lead to.
Yeah.
But the future isn't written yet.
Right.
It's up to us to decide what kind of world we want to create with this technology. Stay curious, stay informed, and stay engaged in the conversation. Choices we make today will shape the world of tomorrow. That's it for our deep dive into the world of artificial superintelligence. Until next time.